Tough Talks, Navigating the Maze of Israel-Palestine Tensions. Hey folks. So, you've probably been hearing a lot about the Israel-Palestine situation, right? It's like every time you flip on the news, there's something new and often heartbreaking happening there. But what's really going down? Why are people so fired up, and why does it seem like this conflict is just stuck in a never-ending loop? First things first, let's dive into the whole anti-Israel and Free Palestine protest scene. You've got people all over the world hitting the streets, waving flags, and shouting slogans. But what's it all about? On one side, you've got folks who are super critical of Israel's policies, especially how they handle things in places like Gaza and the West Bank. They're like, this isn't fair, and something's gotta change. They talk about Palestinian rights, and how they deserve to have their own state, live in peace, and all that. Then, you've got the other side of the coin. There are folks who stand with Israel, saying, hey, Israel has the right to defend itself. They point to the rocket attacks from Gaza, and the scary situations where civilians in Israel find themselves under threat. For them, it's about making sure Israel stays safe and secure. Now, about Gaza. Man, that place has been through a lot. It's like a hotspot for conflict. Israel says they're trying to defend themselves against threats. But then you hear about all these civilians in Gaza getting caught in the crossfire. It's a rough situation, and there's a lot of debate about who's right and who's wrong. And then there's Hamas. These guys are a major player in Gaza, and they've got a lot of supporters. But, they're also seen as a terrorist group by many countries. They've been behind a bunch of attacks on Israel, and that just adds more fuel to the fire. It's a super tricky situation because while some people see them as freedom fighters, others see them as a big part of the problem. So, where does all this leave us? Well, honestly, it's complicated. There's a ton of history behind this, going back decades, even centuries. And it's not just about land or politics. It's about deep-seated feelings of identity, religion, and belonging. People on both sides have genuine fears and concerns, and it's not easy to just say who's right and who's wrong. One thing's for sure, though. The situation needs some serious talking out. Like, not just leaders sitting in a room talking, but real, on-the-ground changes that make life better for everyone, whether they're living in Tel Aviv, Gaza, or the West Bank. It's about finding a way to coexist, respect each other, and maybe, just maybe, put an end to all this fighting. Bottom line? It's a tough nut to crack. But, at the end of the day, whether you're waving an Israeli flag or a Palestinian flag, it's all about wanting a safe place to call home. Hopefully, with enough dialogue, empathy, and some brave steps forward, there can be a future where